Hello there again, YouTube. Growing up, it was a lot of kids' dreams to become a superhero and harness some sort of superpower like flying or super strength. For me, the two superpowers I wanted were to find my father and to never have to cut my fingernails. But not all childhood dreams come true, and I was never given these superpowers, and to this day I don't know who my real father is, so I just tell people it was Spanky from the Little Rascals. Yet, as you're about to find out, some people out there actually walk among us possessing great powers. It's honestly kind of in the same vein as Split and Glass, the M. Night Shyamalan movies. And like Uncle Ben said to his nephew Peter Parker in Spider-Man, with great power comes great ways to exploit them and use them to your advantage. Pretty sure that's what he said. This is Top 5 Best, and on today's list I'm counting down the top 10 people with real superpowers that you will not believe actually exist. For this list, I randomly pulled some people to partake in my superhero survey, and when I lit all of them on fire just to see who wouldn't get hurt, I realized that my perception of a real-life superpower isn't the same to everyone else's. And that's when I decided to just Google research this topic and flee the country at the same time, since I had just made a lot of enemies. Anyways, before I get started, don't forget to drop a like on this video and hit subscribe so that way you can keep up with all of our daily videos. Also, we try to respond to everybody below in the comments, so if you know of any other people with real-life superpowers that exist out there, or if you know of a way we can fool everyone into thinking we have superpowers and then trick them into giving us their money in return for televised sponsorships, then just let us know down below. And if not, just say what's up. With all that said and done, I am your ever-lovely narrator, Gentleman T-Rex. Let's begin, shall we? Number 10. Ozzy Osbourne. If you've ever read up on or followed the life of prolific rock star Ozzy Osbourne, you'll know the man loves to give his body the ultimate endurance test when it comes to substance abuse. So much so that it's amazed many of us that he's still alive at the age of 70. This apparently caught the eyes of the scientific community, who decided to look into Ozzy's life and see if they could decode it all what was going on with him and his body. Well, it turns out they actually found something. Way back in 2010, Ozzy had paid for some researchers to have his genome sequenced, and to their shock, these scientists found several gene variants that they had never come across before in any other specimen. And just where did we find these genomes at? Well, in the part of the sequence where we commonly associate alcoholism and how the body takes in and breaks down such party drugs as methamphetamines. In essence, what this means is that Ozzy's body is made to handle all the bad drugs he sends its way. They should also do the same study on Keith Richards, since I don't know how that guy is ticking after snorting his dead relative's ashes like it was a drug. Number 9. The real-life Electro. Machine Gang is a man who, shockingly and no pun intended, but also kinda, can touch live electrical wires with hundreds of volts of electricity going through them and not feel a thing. Wait, what? How? Simple. Machine Gong's body and skin has a resistance of up to 7 to 8 times greater than you or I. So whenever there's a live line poking through the house, or a power wire goes down and it blowing up in the front lawn with electrical shocks and sparks, all Machine Gang can just casually walk over to it and pick it up and move it out of everyone's way. He quite literally feels no pain from doing this whatsoever. In an ironic turn of events, Machine Gong claims that if anything, the extra jolts of electricity makes him feel more energetic. Well, yeah, I'd have to imagine that much power going through your body is going to have to make you feel at least something, so it might as well be an energy boost. And what's most funny of all is that he found out this superpower by total accident when his television set went on the blink and he decided to go check out the fuse box and see what's up. What he didn't realize he did was his hand accidentally made contact with and touched a live wire while trying to fix his TV problem. Thinking that there must be some sort of mistake going on, Machine Gong touched the live wire again to maybe see if the wire itself wasn't working. Turns out, no, it was, and he's just an X-Men storyline waiting to happen. Get on it, M. Night Shyamalan. Number 8. Xavier Boatset. This modern-day freak show was actually a working Spanish film actor in that country's horror film scene. At the end of the Spanish found footage film REC, Boatset is the creature you see emaciating itself. He was also the driving force behind the film Mama, playing the contorting creature that runs apparently on pure nightmare fuel. And while filmmakers enhance Boatset's performances with CGI and some makeup, nothing is better than the real thing. So yeah, when you see these monsters bend and contort themselves into such uncomfortable positions, those are actually happening due to Boatset's genetic condition that he suffers from called Marfan syndrome. This condition affects connective tissue throughout the human body. Another byproduct of having Marfan is that people tend to be tall, which makes for long fingers and limbs, leading to, of course, flexibility that's going to make a lot of onlookers very uncomfortable. What's worse is that Marfan is what we call a spectrum disease, which in layman's terms means that a person who has it can have it from any varying degree of bad to worse. So if you had it on the worst end of the Marfan spectrum, you're looking at possible life-threatening defects in your heart and other bodily organs. But it seems that Xavier Boatset seems to be on the safer end of the Marfan spectrum, which results in him being able to live a normal life, albeit one where he can contort his body and scare the living daylights out of us. Number 7. Michel Lotito. This French entertainer earned the nickname Monsieur Mange-Tout, translated into English as Mr. Eats All, and literally that is exactly what Michel Lotito does. He's a human trash compactor. He's eaten things made out of glass, metal, rubber, and he would top it all off, not with a cool beer, but rather with some motor oil. I mean, why not? Most people know him as the airplane eater, which while it took him 2 years, he was able to feast on the carcass of an entire Cessna 150 airplane, taking small bites of it from here or there. So, how does he do it? Well, shockingly, Michel Lotito is a freak of nature like my son, except more impressive. He has a condition called pica, which means that his tummy and brain have odd appetites for things we're not supposed to eat like, well, airplanes. This also happens to include dirt, rocks, and metals and glass. But this is coupled together with the fact that Michel Lotito's stomach and intestines have abnormally thick lining. This in turn makes it so that when he does chuck a bottle of motor oil down because he's thirsty, nothing is going to rip him apart or cause any internal bleeding. Man, what a lucky thing this guy has got going for him. He's literally the only person on the planet who can go, my secret to losing weight is to just slowly eat an airplane for over 2 years. It's one food source next to honey that never goes bad, but honestly, I'm a little worried of how that is coming out. Number 6. Liam Hofstra. This Michigan youngster was born with the penultimate superpower, super strength, and no, he wasn't born on a dying planet and then shipped off into space from his father where he crash landed onto Earth and later became a news journalist or a martial artist. Also, nobody can tell his real identity while he's wearing glasses. Liam was born with a rare genetic condition in that his body doesn't produce a protein called myostatin. Myostatin is the protein our bodies use which inhibits our muscles to grow and turn us into muscle gods like my new stepdad. If you're a lucky person born with this condition, not only are you gonna have super strength, you're also gonna have little body fat, which means lots of insecure moms who complain to managers are all gonna want to punch you in the head. And this means that people with this ability don't really have to do any sort of training either, which is nice. I hate working out, I just want my body to get strong for me. The only real side effect of having Liam's condition though is that you're gonna need to eat a lot more than everyone else. Oh boo-hoo, you need to eat a whole large pizza to yourself without getting any fat out of it. Okay, now I'm super depressed. Honestly, in that case though, it's more Goku than Superman. Number 5. Stephan Wiltshire. What's the one thing we all wish we had back in school? The ability to not have to spend so much time studying and memorizing stuff. And some of us actually do have this ability. They call it photographic memory, or eidetic. The concept that you can stare at a page, take a mental picture of it, and slap it on a few Instagram filters, and then boom, you're good to go take your Spanish test, hombre. Enjoy the disdain of your fellow classmates who actually put in hours of studying. However, Stephan Wiltshire here puts your mind to shame. He was once able to take a quick ride in a helicopter around New York City, and I want to stress that it was indeed a very quick ride. And when it was over and done with, Wiltshire was able to draw from memory an extremely accurate portrayal of what he saw of the skyline from the sky itself. And unlike my computer, whose 512 megabyte hard drive constantly keeps getting filled up with pictures of furries for some reason, Stephan Wiltshire's mind never forgets what he sees. Number 4. The real-life version of Bruce Willis's character from Unbreakable. In 1994, a person whose name has been covered up and only goes by John in academic studies and papers was hit by a car. Thing is, when he got x-rayed, they found no broken bones. No sprained bones, no nothing. His bones were totally fine, and why? Why was that? No, it wasn't viral marketing for a movie that wouldn't come out for another 6 years. John's bones were actually revealed to be incredibly dense. In fact, when looking deeper into this medical anomaly, doctors found out that his entire Connecticut family to have all unbreakable bones. And just like in the movie, John can't swim or be in a deep body of water due to the fact that his skeleton weighs a ton. This is the bad part of being unbreakable. When you get older, your body ages, including the muscles that have to lug around these heavier than normal bones all day. Number 3. Olivia Farnsworth. This young girl was born with the best and worst thing ever, a condition called chromosome 6 deletion, which means that she can never, ever feel pain. Now, let's break this down pros and cons style. Pros: who wants to feel pain ever? No one. It sucks. Only certain people like to feel pain, and I'm pretty sure my new stepdad is one of them. The cons, though? Pain is your body's way of telling you something is wrong and you need a medical mechanic to look at you. Without pain, we would seriously hurt ourselves, like a cut or a burn or worse, breaking a bone or two and never knowing about it. And that's what happened to little Olivia here when a car hit her and dragged her several feet before stopping. The girl just got up and walked away, probably not even realizing that she may or may not be internally bleeding at that moment in time. So yeah, while we'd love to never feel pain, what we're really telling ourselves here is that we'd never want to feel the same pain twice again. Because once you know how badly something hurts, you never forget it, and you make sure it never happens to you again. Number 2. Stefan Kron. Number 2 on our list is actually kinda sad. It's the kind of superpower you wish you never had because you can't use it to save your loved ones. During the AIDS epidemic of the 1980s, a man named Stefan Kron realized that his friends and boyfriends were all unfortunately passing away from the HIV-related illness. And yet, he never contracted it. When doctors decided to finally study him and see why this was, they discovered that he had a Delta 32 mutation, which protected his CD4 white blood cells from HIV, which meant he was completely immune to the disease that took the life of those he loved. And while whenever there's an outbreak of a disease, and doctors can usually find a person who is immune to it, and then they study how that person is and try to engineer a cure, in the case of Stefan Kron, there was nothing they could do to extract his mutation. It was self-containing to only Kron. Alright, I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that only takes 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just give it a try, it really works. Number 1. The Fearless Mom. A woman whose identity is only known as SM has a rare condition called Urbacht-Weith. I'm pretty sure I butchered that. What this does is that it hardens her amygdala, an area in her brain that controls her reactions and responses to fear. But in this case, there is none. The condition doesn't allow for the brain to know when it should be scared. This superpower was put to the test when an actual robber came up to SM and put a knife to her throat, threatening to slash it. Well, that doesn't seem to work in the robber's favor when the person he's threatening doesn't seem to care at all about the situation they're in. So he ran away because he started to get freaked out that he wasn't the threatening situation anymore. She was. I mean, this is the best superpower to have. Unlike not feeling pain, you can still feel pain here and have emotions, and can educate yourself on what is dangerous. But that does mean with this knowledge you can impress your friends, such as throwing a golf ball down a concrete basement floor with the lights off, or betting your entire life savings on the Cleveland Browns to win the next Super Bowl. You're not afraid of anything, not even death. Wrap your head around that. And that's it for this list, everybody. Like I always say, if you did make it this far, make sure to hit us up in the comments below, as we always try to respond and say what's up. Also, don't forget to drop a like down below, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, everybody.